should not be viewed as a reward. It should be an opportunity, a commitment, an obligation to continue a lifelong learning process. Now, when you go to Tuskegee University, they say it's small, but it's not. It does have heart. Many say that the seeds to success are hard work and a little luck. I believe that the harder you work, the luckier you become. Now, what is hard work? What is luck? Well, luck, I believe, is when opportunity meets preparation. As Dr. Payton has told you, I have written a book, The Ditch Digger's Daughters, and many of you have read it. In that book, you will recall, I was one of 6 children in that family, all girls and no boys. Now, we have to go back 50 years ago, a half a century, when there was no equal opportunity, affirmative action, or Title IX. My father was a ditch digger. He was a janitor as well as a laborer. And my mother was a cleaning woman. She also worked in the factories and sweatshops right outside of New York City. But unlike my father, who dropped out of school at 10th grade, my mother had 3 years of college at a former historically black university known as Bluefield State Teachers College in West Virginia. But because she didn't have that 4 years, she didn't get that diploma, and therefore she was consigned to cleaning other people's houses, scrubbing their floors, washing their clothes, and serving them meals. She and my father did not want that for us. They had a dream that they wanted all of us to become doctors, to become physicians. And it was a preposterous dream 50 years ago. The role models, those of you who can remember, well, all we could see was Ethel Waters with her basket of laundry. Then we had Butterfly McQueen and Gone with the Wind saying, I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. And then you had Rochester with Mr. Jack Benny, and don't forget, on Bended Knee, Al Jolson in blackface singing Mammy. These were our role models. And as far as being a girl, being a woman, you were just totally dismissed. You were consolation prize because they were waiting for the real prize, the son who would carry on the name. Women were supposed to marry doctors, not become doctors. Now, my sisters and I didn't look like Vanessa Williams. We didn't look like Halle Berry, or in those days, the singer, Lena Horne. We looked more like the sisters of Buckwheat, if Buckwheat ever had any sisters. But the little nappy-headed kids from the projects, nobody encouraged us to dream the big dreams. Nobody expected anything out of us in the projects. The majority of black teenage girls became teenage mothers. They were high school dropouts. They were on welfare. I would come home and say, Daddy, you want us to be doctors? Nobody ever saw a black doctor. Nobody ever saw a woman doctor. He would say, well, that's their problem, not your problem. My mother said, don't let anybody define who you are. Thank you. She would go on to say, let your reach exceed your grasp, or what's a heaven for? Let your aims be high, even though fulfillment may seem impossible. What you can conceive in your mind and believe in your heart, you can achieve with your efforts. Nothing is impossible. It's just the degree of difficulty. Now, my parents had this dream. They ate and slept with that dream. And basically, that dream was forged into the single-minded determination that fueled our lives for many, many years to come. As you heard today, we were in an all-girls band in the 50s and 60s. My mother, my sisters, and I, we were known as the Thornton sisters. And before American Idol, before Star Search, there was a very popular talent show called Ted Mack and the Original Amateur Hour. And the Thornton sisters, as we were called, performed on that television program. A few years later, we said, let's head for the big time. And the Thornton sisters won 6 consecutive Wednesday night amateur night performances at the Apollo Theater in New York City. As you know, it's the bastion of black entertainment. Following that, we were signing lucrative contracts with Roulette Records, with Atlantic Records. We were going to be on the marquee and performing with rock concerts. We said, Daddy, forget about this dream of becoming a doctor. People love us. You know, we are popular. And my father said, sit down. Just sit down here. Let me tell you something. People love you today. They'll love somebody else tomorrow. Here you are. We're here for a reason, not a season. We are not going to sacrifice our long-term goals for short-term gains. Now, if you're a musician and they break your fingers, that's it. Career's over. If you're a singer, you lose your voice, they don't even want to know from you anymore. If you're an athlete, break your knee, they'll get somebody else to play that position. But if you're educated, if you're a doctor, if you can heal somebody, then people will come to you because you're educated and you have a skill. Thank you. Now, my dad said, look, you're looking good, you're 15, 16 years of age, you're shaking, you're cute, you think you're cute. But when you're 50, 60 years of age, gray hair, all wrinkled, arthritic hands, getting up on the stage, trying to blow a saxophone. Let me tell you something, it's not a pretty sight to see. And nobody's gonna pay a dime to see this old man trying to blow a saxophone. But if you're a doctor with them scripper scraps hanging around your neck, you will be valued. People may not want to come to see you, but they'll have to come to see you because they know that you are a skilled person. My parents had the wit to value education because they knew if you were educated, there is no limit to what you can accomplish. They revered education. And because of that, my sisters didn't turn out to be a washed-up musician or a faded recording artist. My sisters and I became well-respected, well-educated, independent, productive women who made that quantum leap up the social mobility ladder in one generation, from poverty to prosperity. Thank you. Now, what happened to those ditch diggers' daughters? What happened to the Thornton sisters? Well, my eldest sister, Donna, who played tenor sax in the band, she became a court stenographer. Our foster sister, Betty, she is a nurse, now practicing in geriatric nursing care. Jeanette, the second born, played the guitar in our band, and she has a double doctorate. She has a doctorate in education, in counseling psychology, as well as an MD. At 32 years of age, she went back to Boston University School of Medicine and graduated at 36 years of age with that MD degree. And now she's practicing psychiatry just outside of Albany, and she's married to a gastroenterologist. Thank you. Now, Rita, my kid sister, who's on keyboards in the band, we all graduated from that small college, Monmouth College. She went on to graduate from Seton Hall University School of Law, and now she's an attorney, specializing in environmental law. Linda, she was the drummer. Yes, there were female drummers. Give the drummer some, yes. She was a drummer. Linda went on to graduate from New York University School of Dentistry. She also recently retired as a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army. Linda is one of only 3 black female board-certified prosthodontic oral surgeons in the country, and she is on faculty at Temple University School of Dentistry. I played the alto saxophone, and I married my medical school sweetheart, Dr. Sherwood McClelland. It is 29 years. He went to Princeton. He graduated from Princeton. We met at Columbia, and he now is chairman of orthopedic surgery at Harlem Hospital in New York City. Now, as you heard from Dr. Payton, I was fortunate enough to listen to my mother about education, and that's why I am the first woman of color in this country to be board certified in high-risk obstetrics. And to date, I have delivered 5,489 babies, and that's what I'm talking about Mother's Day. Thank you. Now, when you love education as much as my parents loved education, the effect of education has a ripple effect. It has a domino effect, because my children have benefited from my parents understanding the power of education. As you heard, my daughter is a recent graduate of Stanford University, and when she was there, she was the musical director of a well-known a cappella group on campus known as Talisman. They traveled throughout the world, throughout the country. They played at the White House. They were in Atlanta at the Olympic Games. But after she's graduated, she wants to trade in her CDs for an MD, and she's pursuing a career in medicine now. My son, before he went to college, he was the United States Junior Open Chess Champion. And having graduated cum laude in biology from Harvard, he is entering his 4th year and his final year at Columbia University College of Physicians and Surgeons and is aspiring to be a neurosurgeon. Thank you. Each one of us is born with the seeds of success. And with our parents, our environment, and with colleges and universities like Monmouth College, like Tuskegee University, who plant the seeds, who till the soil, who give us nourishment and nurture us so that we can become that very special person to compete with anybody, anywhere, at any level. Never underestimate the power of a small college with a dedicated faculty. Now, American universities just don't hand out diplomas to people with limited potential. If you haven't heard it before, let me tell you right now, today, members of the class of 2003, wherever you want to go, you can get there from right here, right now. So I offer you a personal challenge. I want you to do something remarkable. I want you to do something more than the ordinary in your life. Because if I and my sisters, who were written off because we were dark-skinned black women, can taste the fruits of success, so can you. Now, this diploma is just the beginning. That's why they call it commencement. But it's not going to get you too far if you don't utilize it. It cannot guarantee success. You are the only one that can guarantee success. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, you must have laser-like focus in going toward that goal. My father would always say, if the front door is closed to you because you're black and female, and it very well may be closed to you, go around to the back. If the back door is closed, go to the side of the house. Maybe they have a window open you can get in. If that's closed, jump up on a roof, see if you can get in through the chimney. Just never give up. Never, never give up. You have to keep trying because you are the only one that can stop you. Again, here we are at commencement, the beginning, and you are our link to a new generation. This generation should be able to evaluate and reassess priorities and clarify them, and not just be satisfied with the status quo. Wherever you go, be it research, business, law, medicine, public service, or education, neither you nor our society can ever survive or prosper if we simply implement what we already know. Somebody's going to have to come up with some meaningful new ideas, some creative new approaches, some important new discoveries. And why can't that somebody be you? In closing, I would like to say and to remind you that the worth of a college and a university is measured by the accomplishments and the achievements of its graduates and by the loyalty of its alumni. So, again, I want to congratulate all of you today and extend to you my best wishes. And to Tuskegee University, who has bestowed this honor upon me. My mother thanks you, my father thanks you, my family thanks you, and most of all, I thank you.